The Minnesota Legislature is back at work in St. Paul in a dazzling renovated state capitol. But in the newly revamped interior, there is the same old problem. Republicans at odds with Governor Mark Dayton. And in the aftermath of November's election, Republicans have emerged with a stronger hand. They now not only control the House, but the state Senate, too. And joining us right now is the new Republican Senate Majority Leader, Senator Tom Gazelka of Nisswa. Thank you so much for coming in.
Good to see you, Esme, and I know you meant Paul Gazelka, but...
Paul Gazelka, I'm sorry, my sincere apologies, sir.
No problem.
Let me ask you, sir, you said when we don't have to be partisan, let's not be partisan. All we've had for the past number of years is partisanship, and I think a lot of people aren't happy with that.
Well, I think people want their government to work. And in Minnesota, the last few years, it hasn't been functioning very well. And rather than point figures at anybody, I just say, I think we should lower the tone. That's what I want to do. And then when I say you don't have to be partisan, there's all kinds of things that you can do. For example, if there's a legislator that has a need in his area and it's not really Republican or Democrat, why don't we do those? And that's just one example of trying not to be partisan where you don't have to be.
All right. Well, the House Speaker mentioned, House Speaker Doubt mentioned a few weeks ago that his relationship with Governor Mark Dayton was, quote, damaged. How's your relationship with the governor?
It's good. Both my wife and I have met with him maybe a dozen times over the last 6 years, and it's always been cordial and friendly. And that's a good place to start a place of negotiations. And so I'm going to give him every benefit of the doubt to start, and I think he would say the same for me. We have big, complex issues, but we're all talking about the same things: the healthcare crisis, transportation, some tax relief, a bonding bill. Those are things that everybody is saying, why don't we get done? And I say the same thing, and I really think we can and will this session.
All right, and before we get into some of those specifics, people are already talking about the possibility of a government shutdown, and the legislature just got underway. I mean, do you think that can be avoided?
Absolutely, and I'm not talking about a government shutdown. I don't think the governor or the speaker is either. One of the things we're going to do is we'll pass bills earlier and invite the government or the governor to come and negotiate earlier so that we give him ample time to tell us where he's coming from. And I intend to meet with him and visit about the issues that are important to him. I'll share the issues that are important to me as well, so that as we get into those tough last 2 months that we actually know where we're trying to go.
All right. Both the governor and the Republicans have proposed relief for these 120,000 people that are getting so hard hit by exorbitant premiums. The Republicans, though, puts a cap for the extended relief at some pretty high income levels, $198,000 for a family of four. Obviously, that sounds like an enormous amount of income, but when you're looking at these premiums, they're talking about $40,000 worth of premiums with a $13,000 deductible. Is that really fair to cap it at that?
So we're going to figure out as we go through the next few weeks where we want to end up, but I'm open either way on that, to be honest. I know that we have to get relief, emergency aid for the premiums that went up to the numbers that you talked about. We have to help them, and then we also have to find a way to provide more access for people. Those are the two big things we're working at. The first bill will be the beginning of that, and then we'll have another bill after with more complex things to solve this. But it is a huge crisis. We all have to work together to get it done. And on my part, you will see effort and compromise to make it happen.
And I know transportation is huge here in the cities, in Nisswa. Is that a priority of yours?
It is. I don't know if we're calling that Senate File 2 or not, but it is in our top 5 for sure. Everywhere I go, I talk about health care relief and transportation. The other thing I talk about is some tax relief, and I'm glad to hear the governor put out at least a number for tax relief so that we are both heading down that path as well.
All right, so you're optimistic that things can move forward with a softer tone, as you
I
say.
am optimistic, and I think Minnesota's counting on us.
All right, well, Senator Paul Gazelka, Majority Leader, thank you so much for coming in. We certainly appreciate it, and we'll be following the legislature, of course.
Thank you.